You also said the worst thing we did for people facing addiction was to legalize drugs. You said Measure 110 harmed people that are already facing challenges, and you would call on the Oregon legislature to repeal 110. What do you say to Oregonians who voted in support of that measure? Isn't trying to repeal it going against the will of the people?
I would welcome the opportunity for the legislature to refer that out to Oregonians. I would make the case that Oregonians themselves should overturn Measure 110 now that we have a better sense of the impacts of that of that measure. I believe that when they pass Measure 110, they recognize what we know, and that's that we need more recovery services. We need more opportunities for interventions and addiction supports. But the reality of how that measure has been implemented has been that that money has not all gotten out the door. That money, in fact, has not been directed in a way that people have taken advantage of. If there's not a mechanism for people to actually go into recovery, then you can throw as much money as you want at this. If they're not taking advantage of it, then the money is not well spent. The issue is when someone has possession of hard drugs, that's a moment where law enforcement can get them into recovery. We're not talking about throwing people in jail. We're talking about taking the drugs and getting folks the help that they need. They might decline that help. This might not be the time that they're ready to accept that recovery is the best path for their future, but that moment will come. And we need to have more and more interactions, more and more opportunities for people to have an access point into those services that are available to them. Measure 110, good-hearted people of Oregon, I believe, passed Measure 110 to provide support services. What's actually occurred is that it has driven up a culture on our streets where people are actively using in public spaces, and abuse of drugs has skyrocketed. That's not what we need for the future of our state.